You can't go through and build everything all at once. So this is where the requirements document, a PRD, usually would actually be owned by a product manager. Marketer says, hey, I want everything and give it to me now. And then the product development manager will say, well, I can't do that. I can't give you everything now. This is the inherent tension. The product requirements document is designed to get that right.
Your PRD as a solopreneur gives you an opportunity to really look at your product from multiple angles. And this is also thanks to all the different requirements documents. Your PRD is affected by your MRD, by your BRD. But this product that you're going to build, you want to make sure you're capable of building it. And the PRD is the ultimate representation of, I can build this. It fits our marketing requirements. It's going to make money. The PRD is ultimately, it's your product. It's your offer. It's what is going to be out there. Now, a PRD is generally used more in the development landscape, I think traditionally, but I think the PRD can work for almost any kind of offer. And I think that's also what we're kind of exploring here is how can a creator or a coach, an educator, anyone really, how can you create a PRD for what you're building, even if you don't require coding or programming or anything like that? What is your product? What are the requirements of that product? So Ken is going to introduce us to the PRD. So before we begin, why should you listen to me or Ken? Well, this is Kenneth Gonzalez. He was a former analyst at Gartner. He's got 40 years in enterprise tech, and he's a consultant, a lead advisor for executives in the industry. So he's got a good grasp on how business works in the industry, and he's also really fascinated by what's happening with agentic AI. As for me, I vibe coded my first project. It was a directory for Montessori schools in the United States. I've vibe coded a whole bunch of different projects. Some of them worked, and some of them never saw the light of day. Even though I got really far in the development process, I spend a lot of time using different workflows with AI agents to make my life easier as a YouTuber, as a solopreneur, and as a content creator. This call took place in the AI Captains Skool in our weekly coffee hour workshop. If you want to join us, you're always welcome. You get a 7-day free trial to see if it's for you. So let's get started.
The interesting thing about a PRD is that we just talked about the marketing document, right? The marketing requirements. We talked about the business requirements. You can't go through and build everything all at once. There's lots more capability than what is needed to come up with whatever the minimum viable products, the minimum viable implementation would look like. There's a bit of a misnomer, I think, in terms of like the role. So a product requirements document, a PRD, usually would actually be owned by a product manager. And the development manager and the marketing manager end up having, the marketer says, hey, I want everything and give it to me now. And the person that runs the development team, product development manager, will say, well, I can't do that. I can't give you everything now. Oh, and I can't give it to you for free either. So there's a set of tensions that you need to actually go through and manage your way through. And that's what the product manager, not the product engineering manager, but the product manager is responsible for both what are we going to build and when that is in a specific release. And then be responsible for the roadmap over time, because we know that it's going to take a number of evolutions to actually go through, capture what the most important stuff is to start off, and then prioritize based upon customer feedback, based upon market feedback, based upon what engineering says can be done and what it'll take to actually do, like to condition it. They go through and they are responsible for doing the negotiation, if you will, between what the market needs and what engineering can produce. So this is the inherent tension. And so the product requirements document is designed to get that right, to be a statement of what we're going to build in what period of time, which is distinct from a roadmap. So the product roadmap actually might have high-level statement features and capabilities, but it's designed to be looked at over time. This is really distinct from the most of what we would call product requirements documents that we get from an LLM. Why? Because traditionally they're going to use I guess you might call it a schema version of it, which includes elements of the market, which includes elements of the business requirements, which includes elements around features. And the good side about that is if you don't have any other guidance, it's a great place to start. But the bad side to it is that too much stuff gets crammed into it and you end up with a lack of precision. So the product requirements document, the way that we're talking about it, is our mechanism of being able to look at what we believe the market needs, what we think that we need from an organizational perspective, whether we're a solopreneur or whether we're a large organization. What do we need to do to say that, yeah, we're meeting our goals, our success criteria are being met, and we're paying attention to constraints, whether those are internal or external.
So yeah, acknowledging, just to spoke something that feels unsaid here, but really important for me, is acknowledging what you're capable of. So like you said earlier, the marketing team wants that. The engineering team needs to be able to say, like, yes, we're able to do that. We're capable of building that. Otherwise, it's like, well, what is your PRD if you have no idea? Yeah, my AI can do that. Yeah. But really, it's a step forward is really going into the details here to make sure, yes, it satisfies what we need for marketing it, right? But we're actually able to do it. And so it depends on if this is your first rodeo vibe coding or not, if you are going to be vibe coding an app. that PRD might get really technical for stuff that you're not actually capable of. So I just wanted to name that.
No, absolutely. I'm glad you did. So the key things that we expect we're going to get from the PRD are, number one, a fusing of the internal and external user stories that are what is it we're building and why are we building it. The second thing is what are the key features that represent the minimum viable product or the minimum viable implementation? And then what is the relative priority of these things? So we know what should get worked on first, what can be pushed off to future periods. Because at the end of the day, we need to say that within a certain period of time, and typically these are described in 30-day sprints for development organizations, but we could say, hey, we're going to do weekly sprints with our AI partner. Why? Because we don't have the human coordination to deal with. All we have is us and whatever our tool set is. So we can say, okay, great, over the next week, this is what we're going to build out. It's clear, it's measurable, and everything else we're going to push off into the future. So, having like a daily log of these are the things we're going to work on, and then you click them off as you go along. Next day, rinse and repeat.
So this is the kind
PRD
of
should actually get us to the point where we're able to do that.
So the PRD is going to give us this kind of list, basically, of the tasks. Okay, so I think that's a good intro to get us started here. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Now we need a project. What should we build our PRD for? Any ideas?
Your call, really.
Last time we did AI Captains.
Yes.
That's what we did the BRD for the AI Captains brand. So this time we need a PRD. Well, I suppose we could do the school again.
Sure.
That actually might be really good for AI Captains right now because it is going through some transformations. Okay, so unfortunately, my knowledge base is not up to date right now. It's funny because I'm building the course for how to build your knowledge base, and I haven't even followed the course yet. So my friend who's doing this course as a guinea pig, she has a better knowledge base for her business than AI Captains right now. It's crazy. Let me ask you, Ken, how detailed do we want to prompt this? How granular do we want to be in explaining what we want? It obviously is going to create a very detailed PRD that's probably more detailed than I need it. So how do we want to approach this initial prompt?
So I would say in an ideal case, what I would want to do is I would capture the market requirements document, the way that we outputted it, the way that our AI partner gave us back in that form in a markdown document. We would take the business requirements document in markdown format, and I would add those as files to the interface for, whether it's Claude Code or whether you're working in the LLM directly, like Claude or ChatGPT, whichever, put as part of the project. Add those two files and then say, okay, great. Now let's go build a product requirements document for this. And then I would say something along the lines of, please focus on the user stories, the features, and priorities. Use the documents provided for additional context to address the pieces that we worked on previously.
We want to focus on user stories. What else?
The feature set required.
The feature set required. Okay.
And the priority in which those features should be built. So you might also say something about so that we are able to build a roadmap for future development sprints.
User stories. I'm going to also mention is a team of one plus AI agents. There is no development, ops, marketing, etc. teams. It's a solopreneur endeavor. Use the documents provided for additional context. We want to focus on the feature set required. Okay, so I'm giving it our avatar profile here. I haven't created an MRD, but I have everything I kind of need for the MRD. So I'm giving it the avatar profile. I'm going to give it kind of everything here. The brand guide and the course catalog, which I do believe is up to date. And I'm also giving it the BRD we made last week. Okay, so use the documents provided for additional context. We want to focus on the feature set required and the priority in which these features should be built, so we're able to build a roadmap for future development sprints. User stories, what else?
If you know or have an idea of the tech stack that you want to use, then offer that up.
Okay, the tech stack is the school platform. And then we'll say use Context 7 or Firecrawl to find, I actually have a good URL for this. And in the AI Solopreneur starter kit, there is an exercise in installing these MCPs, so you'll know how to do this as well. But to find the capabilities of Skool as far as tiers, tier pricing, etc. And also check this URL. This article is actually really good. And this is important because I'm not vibe coding anything. I'm not building anything in that sense for the AI Captains Skool. It's using another platform. And essentially right here in the PRD, I already kind of know what the product is, but I do need to work on the presentation of the product, some of the details. Skool just upgraded, so now there's tiers. Like everything just kind of changed with how you can do pricing models on Skool. So I do need to update the product with that in mind. So this is the tech stack, basically. It's a Skool platform plus Convert Kit for email marketing, tech stack, roadmap, feature set, priority for the feature set, user stories. Is this a good starting point?
Now, before you hit the button, let's just call out here that from the market requirements perspective, we've thought about what we believe that people are willing to pay to be able to go and get this thing.
And we've already supposed to have done that.
Right. And then we've already looked at it from a business requirement, say that, okay, well, we need to be able to have a certain amount of margin in order to be a viable business, or we need to specify a cost of delivery for it so that we can map that to what the market's willing to pay. So there's what we can actually use to run it and be successful and what the market needs. Now, what we would be doing in here would be wanting to say that there are different choices we might be able to make in terms of how we make the product available. And that's part of what we want our partner to work with us on is, even though we're saying that we believe that Skool is our platform, are there alternatives? And those are the things we may want, because if we're looking at the constraints and we're looking at what we can actually make, then we might actually be expanding our horizons and looking at new ways of going to market that actually meet both the market and the business requirements, but maybe not have previously been identified. So ultimately, we should be able to choose out of this, okay, great. Now, the best platform for us is X, as opposed to Y, what we started thinking that we were going to be doing. We want to get down to the point where we've now made the decision where we believe that we're going to satisfy both the marketing and the business view.
So the product requirements document is really about synthesizing the business requirements with the marketing requirements so you create the right product. So I'm wondering here as if in the PRD process, would this be a good time to say, use your tools to research potential alternatives to Skool and determine if it is the right platform for our product,
right?
Based on our BRD and MRD, right?
Right.
Okay. I do not want to actually
propose alternatives.
Propose alternatives. Right. Okay. I'm not going to do that here because it's going to take way longer. And also I'm not changing the platform. Right. So, but if you haven't built your business yet, don't be attached to what you think is the right answer because there might be a better one.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'll just say, use the best agents and tools available to you to start planning. Ask me for clarity and we will begin. All right. I like that after we've been doing these requirements documents for all these weeks in a row, I'm finally starting to see the bigger picture, I guess, which you've been explaining diligently since the beginning, but it does take time to wrap your head around this when you've never really done it, right? When it's new to you. So what I'm kind of learning here is, I mean, I can't put it into words any better than you can, but I'm really starting to kind of grasp it, is all these documents work together. They inform one another. And when one of them needs to update, it could affect how the others are updated, or they all have their own constraints, but they all affect the other documents. Not all the time. All the time? I would need to see a visual of this. Like if you change your avatar, your marketing requirements document will change dramatically, which could mean your product needs to change.
Yes.
But unless you're putting that constraint on it, like I am, like, no, I'm not changing the product. I'm not changing the tech stack of the product, at least. That doesn't mean the business requirements document wouldn't need to be changed if the avatar changes dramatically. And that is actually a pivot that I'm potentially looking at in the near future too, which means, I guess it's a good thing I haven't done my MRD yet.
But that would certainly change your PRD if that was the case, right? So if your ideal customer profile now is substantially different, then where that meets your business requirements could end up in an implementation requirement that's substantially different from what you originally walked in the door with. So I think that the two key points I'd like to make here about this whole process is that, number one, it does not need to take a long time. If we think about these as just, oh my gosh, these are documents and they're long, and they have lots of stuff in it, you're missing the point and potentially going down a really bad direction. The intent is really to get enough done so that you can say with a reasonable level of confidence that I understand the market. I understand what my target customer is likely willing to buy from me. And then about the business, okay, I understand the business I'm in, what it takes to be successful, all the constraints, all of the success criteria that means that, hey, if I build this and the customer likes it, we're going to be successful. And then, as you said, we're synthesizing this in the form of the PRD. So we can, okay, great. I understand both these conversations. And now what am I going to build first? What's my minimum viable product? And then what will I build over time that will actually make it more valuable and have people gain more trust in the work that you're doing to make this available to them, saying, oh, yeah, Jordan, he's on it. He's got it. He knows what I need and is putting the plans in place to make sure that he builds that for us.
There's also a mindset shift in looking at all these different things modularly. I don't think many solopreneurs do. I think it's easy to just understand your business and have an intuitive sense of like, oh, I need to get more leads, or I need to make my offer better. I need to update the website because the directory is not, converting, the lead magnet's not converting, whatever. It's easy to have a sense of like what to work on, what to make it better. But this, I guess, enterprise perspective that you're bringing to the table here is forcing me to look at these different higher level perspectives on the business in a different way. I have to compartmentalize them, and I just have to approach the business, modularly. And these are all interrelated.
And the good part about it is that, if we think about it, each one of the documents is looking at the whole from a different perspective. So by just changing your thinking in the area, by changing the question you ask and how you ask them, instead of saying like this, thinking about it like a one shot where it's like, hey, I want to build an X, and then out comes your PRD, and then, okay, let's go build that. No, we're taking just a little extra time, a tiny amount of extra time to ask the question from 4 different perspectives so that we're now getting a more well-rounded view on what we actually want to go build. Mm-hmm. And I think that little extra investment of time is the thing that will make the difference between success and failure for a lot of folks. Because now it's not random and capricious. No, it's actually, we know what's going to get built, we know why, and we know what's going to look like. And if it doesn't look like that, then we're going to go through and we're going to correct.
Food for thought.
But I think also one of the good things about this and the way that you constructed the prompt is that right now this is fire and forget. You don't have to sit there and just be, huddled over your virtual terminal watching what the tool's doing in terms of, it'll do what it does and it'll give you the output and then you'll have a look at it. So it's not like you're spending your time having to go through and hand code a bunch of prompts and take random information and try and assemble it. You're using the tool the way that it's designed to work. And that's a really good thing.
All right. So now we have our list. Already ran out of context. So it already started a new conversation. Claude Code is good at like transferring the context over. It's not always good at reading its Claude MD file, but okay, here we got a plan. Let's check it out. Okay, so Claude Code has finished making its plan, and unfortunately, I can't hide this to look at it. I don't know how to hide it. But, all right, executive summary, product vision and goals, product overview, value proposition, core offerings, user personas, feature requirements. We'll start with an executive summary. We'll go into a product overview. User personas, non-technical beginners, platform users. This is wrong. I don't know why this is in one of these documents. I keep trying to get rid of it. Technical people without business knowledge, existing business owners, creators, hybrid path builders. Maybe it's okay. Feature requirements. I don't know what Moscow means. Prioritization.
And so actually that's an acronym, right? And must have, should have.
Must have or
cascades it down.
Oh yeah, must have. Phase 1, month 2, community discussion forums, course delivery system, member onboarding flow, basic gamification, ConvertKit. Should have month 3 to 4, advanced course modules, yes. Advanced calendar, okay. Could have elective course marketplace, advanced analytics, okay. Won't have custom domain. Yeah. Won't have any of those. User stories organized by persona and feature. Following format. As a persona, I want goal, so that benefit. Yes. Technical architecture, Skool, ConvertKit, third-party requirements, AI agent, workflows and automation, data flow between systems, development roadmap, success metrics, and risk assessment. What do you think of those here in our PRD, Ken?
This is good.
Yeah, sometimes I find these take it too far, but I guess they're good markers.
And we definitely should be looking at the success criteria as well as the risks so that and I think this is especially important for solopreneurs because if you're not paying attention to that, and again, we talked about it in an earlier episode, right? So if you're just trying to gain some initial operating experience and build your knowledge base and upgrade your level of delivery capability, great. Then the risks are fuel for development, right? So something breaks and you learn how to fix it. Great. You've invested in yourself and you're making forward progress. That's the truth about it. But there are certain risks that are like, oh, wow, I didn't think of that. Boom. That's the one that's likely going to be the one that surfaces and all of a sudden breaks the entire model for you.
So I wonder what these risks will be for the AI Captains Skool. That'll be interesting. School shuts down. That would be a risk. All right, let's take a look. The definitive platform where anyone wanting to build an online business learns to leverage AI through practical, peer-validated education that respects their time and starting point. Core promise, build your online business the right way with AI. From curious to capable. I'm still workshopping that one. Yeah. You like the from curious to capable part?
Yeah, I do.
Interesting. From curious to captain. I think that's the more on brand. Business model, operating model, solopreneur, plus AI agents. No traditional team, AI first operations. Yes. Target audience, tech stack. Okay. Key success metrics, revenue targets.
Scroll up for just a minute. So I want to call out look at what it put as the age range.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting how it came up with that. But I just think it's interesting in that are people older than 55 not interested in doing that? Or are they just not technically capable? Or, so I think part of the what we need to do in terms of looking at the output from these exercises is considering whether that rings true for us in terms of like the Should we be working off that basis? Might people who are younger than this have a real legit interest in being able to do it? Because I've seen a lot of examples of younger folks that are, I say younger, like younger than 24, who have a real interest in doing this kind of work. So what's the assumption that went into crafting that?
I think a lot of the assumption is more about the language, maybe the vibe, the AI Captains 16-bit aesthetic. I think that's why it just shows a certain age range. It isn't necessarily because of the material itself. It's like, this is the avatar we're targeting at this exact age. Because, the more specific you can be. But yeah, I mean, it's a good point. It's a good thing to think about. And I'm not really attached to those numbers. That's just what it created when I did the initial research for the avatar. Okay, in section 2, we got a product overview. Learn to build a real online business using AI tools and strategies, whether you're technical or not. Okay. Supporting pillars, AI plus business integration, multiple starting points, authentic community, realistic time investment, practical implementation. Core offerings, the V2 program. Phase 0, orientation assessment. Phase 1, business technical foundation. Phase 2, the directory project. Phase 3, advanced business systems. Phase 4, advanced pathways. That needs a little work too. Then we got elective courses. That needs some work. Cohort programs. I don't even know where it found this. This is from such an old version of the knowledge base. I have no idea. Maybe it's programmed. Maybe it's trained into Sonnet, because I've been working on that since Sonnet 3.7 and now it's Sonnet 4.5. It could have just been trained in, which is interesting. Okay. Competitive positioning. All right. I'm sure that's a nice looking table somehow. Okay, user personas. Here we go. Persona 1, non-technical beginners. So do we get that story? Oh, these are personas. Okay, so that's non-technical beginners. We have their profile, their needs, and their success metrics. Persona 2, platform users, drag and drop users. Persona 3, technical people without business knowledge, developers, programmers, software engineers. Persona 4, existing business owners and creators. Persona number 5, hybrid path builders, mixed experience, some tech, some business, trying to find a niche.
Yeah.
Moderate tech skills. It's a lot of personas there, but it is all still kind of one avatar, I guess. I don't know. I might need to think about that. Okay, feature requirements, must-have features. Community discussion forums. Okay, we got that, fortunately, built into Skool. Course delivery system. I've got that built into Skool. Just need the courses to be finished. Member onboarding flow. Critical. Priority 0. Structured onboarding sequence for new members joining the community. Welcome sequence, orientation content, profile setup. Now, it's funny, I do have all this. And in the course for building your own knowledge base, you will build all this, and it'll all be in one place. But I've done all this before the course, so it doesn't have access to these sequences. But imagine that when your AI agent has all these things already available to it inside your knowledge base, it's super powerful. Yeah. Okay, basic gamification. Yeah, that's already in there. Get 10 points for creating a post. I don't think we can do that. Comment on post, 2 points. All right. And I don't think we can change the names of the levels either. Should have features. Advanced course modules. Okay. Events calendar with live stream integration. We've already got that. Except these are a lot of different ideas. Pre-workshop prep materials, live interaction session, or was that code along build sessions, cohort kickoff sessions, member directory and profiles. Can't do that on Skool. Kind of can, but enhanced gamification features. Okay. All right. So now it's just taking things too far. I mean, DMs, that's there, but some of these features, I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, you want to think about these things. To me, it's like built into Skool. Yeah, I can't turn off DMs on Skool. It's if I'm choosing Skool, that's just how it is.
Right.
I think I can turn off the community in Skool or the calendar. So, but in this document, it's about just making sure it's written somewhere. Like these are features, right? This is part of the product, these features. So make sure they're there. All right. Could have features, elective marketplace, advanced analytics, Zapier automation workflows, mobile app optimization. Can't control that. Custom branding. Can't control that. Won't have features. Custom domain. Yep. Can't do that. White labeling. Can't do that. Okay. So I didn't really learn about Skool as much as I guess I know about it after using it for so long. So now we got user stories. Persona 1, non-technical beginners. As a non-technical beginner, I want clear, simple instructions on how to get started so that I don't feel overwhelmed and can take my first steps confidently. Here. As a non-technical beginner, I want to know I don't need coding skills to succeed so that I feel confident I can learn and implement with AI assistance. As a non-technical beginner, I want simple, obvious navigation between lessons so I can focus on learning instead of figuring out how to use the platform. Yep. As a non-technical beginner, I want video demonstrations and visual guides so that I can see exactly how to implement what I'm learning. As a non-technical beginner, I want to ask basic questions without feeling judged so that I can get the help I need to progress. Yep. Okay, Persona 2, platform users. As a platform user, I want clear guidance on when to build custom versus use platforms so that I can make strategic decisions with my tech stack. As a platform user, I want to learn how to integrate AI tools with my existing platforms so that I can enhance without rebuilding everything from scratch. As a platform user comfortable with basics, I want to gradually increase my technical skills so that I can eventually build custom solutions when needed. Persona 3, the technical people without building knowledge. As a technical person who already codes, I want the ability to skip beginner technical content so that I can focus on what I need to learn. As a technical person, I want step-by-step customer development guidance so that I can validate ideas before building. As an existing business owner, I want specific guidance on automating my current workflows so that I can save time and scale without hiring. As an existing business owner, this is the fourth persona, I want to implement AI tools in my business within the first 2 weeks so that I see immediate value in ROI. As a hybrid path builder, I want a comprehensive assessment to identify my strengths and best path so that I can focus my energy on the right direction. As a hybrid path builder trying to find my niche, I want permission and space to explore different approaches so that I can discover what truly resonates with me. As a member of the community, okay, so these are cross-persona stories. I want my progress and achievements recognized so that I feel motivated to continue learning and contributing. I want to connect with peers at similar stages so that we can support each other. Content access. As a busy member, I want full mobile access to courses and communities so I can learn during commutes and spare moments. As a member, I want to easily search for topics and find relevant content so that I can get help when stuck and discover related resources. I want fast access to help and support so that I don't lose momentum and keep progressing. All right, and we got our technical architecture, all about Skool, platform limitations of Skool, ConvertKit, what the email sequences will look like. So email sequences, that's part of the product, huh? It's like a feature of the product?
It's what you would need to do if you're going to actually be able to launch.
To implement it, right? Yeah, interesting. Okay. Yeah. I feel like most people don't, I don't. I wouldn't lump in the email sequences with the product, but I guess it totally is. It's just another module of the product, another component of it.
Just think about products and services exist on a continuum. Something could be either all service or all product, but 99% of the time you're going to find it's somewhere in the middle, more product and service or more service than product. And if you need this in order to be able to deliver, then that's part of your product plan. Again, this goes back to, I think, one of the key things about like the downside of solopreneurship, which is, oh, I have the idea to build something. I go off and build it. And now what?
Right.
What do I do then?
All right. So then we got segmentation strategy for the personas, Zapier automation workflows. Yep. Those are also part of the product, I suppose. Third-party tool stack, security and privacy, performance and scalability, development roadmap. Phase 1, MVP launch. The goal, launch minimal viable community with phase 1 course content. Sprint 1, foundation setup. That's pretty much already done. Sprint 2, phase 1 course content. More or less already done, though there are some new courses that are going up. Sprint 3, phase 1 course content, module 6 to 10, and beta testing. So once again, going into the solopreneur side of all of this is all just a little overkill for me. All the different sprints. But that said, I'm already in the middle of this product, right? I'm actually in the middle of refining it. And so that could be an interesting topic in and of itself, is like creating a new PRD based on a product you want to evolve. So that's something to keep in mind, I would say, for another solopreneur in this position. Sprint 5, public launch, and phase 2 planning, Sprint 6, phase 2 course content. Yeah, so this is nice though. It separates it all. So it's like, okay, here's my task list. There's even checkboxes here in Markdown. We could vibe code this into a website or into a Next.js app that we could just use and keep it there with like a Kanban board to have all the tasks be, is it started? Is it in progress? Is it done? And that would actually be a great use of vibe coding to create that based on your PRD. Sprint 8, phase 3 planning and automation. Okay, so we have all our sprints here. It was very, very detailed with the sprints. Resource allocation, time allocation. So content creation, 15 hours, 38% of my time to content creation. Community management, 25% of my time, which is quite a bit. Live events, 8%. Marketing and growth, 13%. Admin operations. Okay, that's interesting. I would say content creation is, pretty close to that. Community management doesn't take that long, but maybe it'll be different when there's more people in there. AI agent utilization, content drafting daily, video script creation weekly, email copywriting weekly. This is a cool table. Okay. Risk management during development, content creation pace, mitigation. Use AI agents heavily for drafting and editing. Adjust sprint goals if behind schedule. Weekly content production review. Risk 2, member onboarding overload. Automate as much as possible. Risk 3, technical issues with integrations. Test all Zapier workflows thoroughly before launch. Risk 4, low initial engagement. Seed community with beta testers and early winners. Risk 5, platform limitations discovered. Research Skool thoroughly before committing. All right, so I'd say these aren't that bad, these risks. Nothing fatal, at least. I guess the perks of using other... So one of the frameworks to explore in the knowledge-based building in the AI Solopreneur Starter Kit is buy or build. So like make a decision matrix, a flow chart. Do we buy or do we build? And in this case, we're buying Skool, subscribing to it. If we were building our own platform for all this, there would probably be a risk list like 10 times bigger. Yeah. All right. Success metrics, North Star metric, course completion rate. So if 87% of the users complete it, or is it if the users get to 87% of the course? I'm not sure. This is the primary success indicator.
That's the number that completes.
That completes all the way?
Yes.
Right. Demonstrating that content is valuable, engaging, and members are achieving their goals. Yeah, 87% is pretty high, but and that's like, it means you're getting the right people in there. So the avatar is right, and the course is good. So the right person is taking the right material, and then they'll finish it if that is the case. Yeah. So easier said than done, this kind of thing. 8.2, engagement metrics, community engagement, course engagement, gamification engagement. Okay. Growth metrics, member acquisition. Yeah, month 1 to 2 target is 50, month 3 to 4 is 100. Yeah. Waitlist. Subscription tiers. These are the Skool subscription tiers, not for our actual product. So it got that wrong in its research. So I would probably go back here and be like, no, these are the costs for me to use Skool. But actually there's tiers, up to 3 tiers that we can use in Skool now. In fact, that will be a whole exercise on its own, figuring out the pricing and the different options for going about it. So it's easy to upgrade. I'm thinking that instead of doing a trial, there's just a free tier. So you enter in the free tier, you get access to a few things, and then you slowly just keep leveling up. But of course, that will require changes to the product.
Well, so the interesting thing, especially as you look at the number of, at the personas, the way that everything's built now, it's one size fits all. You're in the community and you have access to the things that are part of the courses area. And it might be that, for persona A, they have a certain swath of what's available to them at that subscription tier, and that is at X dollars per month or X dollars annually, whatever you have. And then another tier that is the, hey, I've already got some experience and I'm, blah, blah, blah. That tier has a different set of offers available to them, which is distinct because it's more targeted for what their need is. And that costs X, that costs Y dollars, and whether that's annual or monthly. So I think that rather than looking at it as one size fits all and all the programs are available to all people, now you're being more deliberate about how you're partitioning the content and what's available to people.
Well, it's almost just like segmenting the tiers, like segmenting the personas, just as we have it in here somewhere. We have 4 personas, I think it was.
5.
Persona 5, yeah. So it's almost like, how do I distill these 5 into 3, right? Like, what's the free persona? What's the low ticket persona? What's the higher ticket persona? That's kind of how I imagine it. Or maybe persona wouldn't be the right word, but the segment. There's 3 different versions of the avatar here. So we just target each of them differently based on the tiers, essentially, right? Like the beginner friendly people, as a non-technical beginner, I want to ask basic questions. Maybe they're fine in the free, like come on in, ask your questions, come to the free call, right? But then people with a business, or people that are like close to having a business, maybe people close to actually finally monetizing online, but they want to put AI into it, they'll pay the low ticket. But then people with a business and they're feeling stuck and stagnant, they'll come in with more money to invest because they know they can push their business over the hump if they learn this stuff. So then that would theoretically be the high ticket offer. So yeah, I think this is going to be a big exercise for me to figure that out. But the PRD is a great starting point because now I can actually reference a lot of this PRD as I figure that stuff out. Like, hey, here's the personas we're working with. Here is what I can do on Skool. Here's what's I'm technologically capable of on the Skool platform. Now, what would be, so give me 5 pathways to monetize, to appropriately price this community based on these avatars, based on everything going on. And in order to do that, I'm really into this knowledge base thing. You got to have a good knowledge base. I'll keep selling that course. Like, this knowledge base course I'm making, man, is so freaking important and so valuable. You get everything in just one place, a single source of truth for everything you've got going on for your business. And then you brainstorm with AI with that as context, and there's no stopping you.
So ultimately, you're gonna be at a point where you've now got the big version of the PRD, and you're gonna go through and make decisions about what is and isn't relevant, and you're gonna tweak and tune elements of this that are gonna be like, okay, this is how we're gonna go to market, and of the Moscow items, these are the things we are not gonna do now. Things I'll push off to a future period. So this is going to get whittled down in size and be more focused, so that now you can get to the point where you're saying, okay, great. Boom, let's pull the trigger. Let's start building. And it's going to be tough to kind of, keep your foot on the clutch, right? So you don't fully engage, because we still need to talk about, okay, we described some features. What exactly do we mean about those? And now that sets us up to have another conversation to kind of round out the 4-pack here.
Yeah, let's get there in a second. It looks like there's another risk section. So I don't know what we saw earlier, but this is risk assessment, platform dependency risks, Skool platform shutting down. Hey, like I mentioned, Skool feature changes, or introducing new limitations, then technical risks, integration failures, automation workflows may break due to API changes. Yep. Video hosting issues, YouTube or Vimeo could remove videos. No, not a problem. Business model risk, slow member growth. Likelihood, medium. Impact, high. Yes, I have noticed that in real time. Diversify marketing channels, focus on retention and word of mouth, offer referrals, continuously improve content quality. All right. High churn rate, likelihood, medium. Pricing challenges, pricing may be too high or too low. Yep. Operational risks, solopreneur burnout, with no team increases risk of burnout. So that's kind of like a personal nudge. Mitigation strategies, leverage AI agent. Content creation pace, maybe slower than planned. Yep, working on that. Community and culture risks, toxic community members. Haven't had to deal with that yet. Loss of authentic culture as community grows. If members don't engage with community or content, value diminishes and churn increases. Yeah. Competitor launch. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of competitors already.
Sure.
AI tool changes, Claude may change dramatically. Yeah, that would suck, but I don't think it's going to happen. Not to the tune of too many people use Claude Code now in a certain way for them to just swipe the rug out from under us. But who knows? Insufficient revenue. Risk priority matrix. All right. So solopreneur burnout is the most critical priority to fix, right? Make sure I do not burn out. Good point. And so the secret here is automation and boundaries, personal boundaries. Slow member growth, do more marketing. Yeah. So this is valuable. This is actually really valuable. I would say I feel pretty aligned with the risk priority list. All right, now we have appendices,
which I think is interesting. We're just seeing this with Skool now. But what happens if the pricing changes yet again?
Like where the Skool platform changes their pricing?
Yeah. Because that could actually change the economics of your ability to offer the product, right? So it could, legitimately double the amount that they charge for access to it. And what does that do to your subscription, the price for those different personas?
Right. Yeah, the only pricing change I've experienced with Skool since I've started with it is they've added like a hobby tier for $9 a month, which I would have loved to start with that instead of the $99 a month, because it's kind of a big leap when you're just getting started. But yeah, I mean, personally, Hormozy is one of the owners of Skool and has a big hand in it, and they kind of shift a lot of the features to match what he's teaching in his books and stuff, like the money models, and he's got courses on how to use Skool to follow everything he teaches in the books. So he's not opposed to price increases, but I think he also believes strongly in trust and just that kind of thing where it's if there's a big price increase in a platform like this, it's going to weed out a lot of his customers. And so, so I'm personally not concerned about it, but it's a really good, really important thing to think about because, if they double your pricing. It's
not necessarily something that you're currently having to worry about in terms of Skool. There very well might be other things that you're relying on in order to be able to do your delivery.
Yeah, even ConvertKit
could represent a pricing pressure.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you're like ConvertKit. I've collected all these emails from YouTube, but I don't think I've converted anyone from email, and I'm paying them $50 or $60 a month. And I'm not sure that channel has converted anything. And now half of that is my fault. I'm not doing it right, or I'm not doing it enough. Sure, but the other half is just kind of well, maybe this isn't the right channel. That said, we're not even using ConvertKit. I mean, we are for automations, for nurturing sequences, but as far as our PRD goes, ConvertKit is not for marketing. It's for the actual product itself, which is to ping you in your inbox. Hey, have you tried this yet? Hey, this is your onboarding emails, So I guess that would just be considered part of it, right? And I guess if you got 1,000 members in your school that all need the onboarding email sequence, then you're probably going to be doing okay with paying ConvertKit a little extra.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, especially in the beginning, we talked about this, was it last week with the business requirements documents? This is really important just to make these decisions for the tech stack and infrastructure you're going to use. Can I afford it?
Yeah.
Can the business sustain? How long can it sustain with me funding it if it's not making money yet? So watch the BRD video for more on that. All right. So that is the end. We've got the appendices here.
Going back into the pricing conversation just for a moment is that there are some things that you might say, so for example, that $9 tier versus the $99 tier. It could be that you offer a specific tier at a level of billing that is unsustainable. And you might do that with the specific purpose of being able to get people in the door, or you might be able to offer the free tier. You get people in the door, you get people using it, they see the value, and then you've got a cross-sell, upsell pathway. And that is a perfectly viable business model because, there's any number of examples where people will go through and they'll make certain products available at a price point, which is actually either a loss or maybe like a 1 or 2 point margin, where your point is not to make money off it, but rather I want to make sure that the people that are shopping or doing business with me keep coming back. I want to make it easy for them, or I want to address their concerns, or whatever the thing is. But if you're going to make a business decision that I'm going to offer a low margin product because I have other higher margin products that people will take advantage of, that is a perfectly valid outcome. But if you've never thought about that, it would never occur to you. So you might just start off with a product that's okay, I'm offering a loser, but I don't really know it's a loser. And what we're talking about is the strategy to make sure that you aren't doing that, but rather you're being able to make very intentional choices about the way you're going to operate and how your business is going to be constructed. So you got the best possible chance of success. From a solopreneur's perspective, that's what we want to do is we want to give ourselves the best possible chance of being successful.
Well, I think that's a good way to close this off. And I think, to sum it up, your PRD as a solopreneur can help you fine tune in a way How do I put this? This PRD gives you an opportunity to really look at your product from multiple angles. And this is also thanks to all the different requirements documents. This framework that we're kind of going through is your PRD is affected by your MRD, by your BRD. But this product that you're going to build, you want to make sure you're capable of building it, right? Put on your different hats and have the meetings with yourself. Like the PRD is the ultimate representation of, I can build this. It fits our marketing requirements. It's going to make money. You know, it follows the BRD, the business requirements document. The PRD is ultimately, it's your product. It's your offer. It's what is going to be out there. It's what's going to turn into it's going to be your business, essentially. So make sure to check out the AI Captains Skool if you want to join calls like this, live, ask questions. And this whole requirements documents course is inside there. You can check it out, as well as plenty of other fun courses to learn how to vibe code, automate, build your business with AI. We'll see you there. All right.